Hi up guys, unfortunately during the recent upgrade to my system I accidentally deleted the version of Skyrim I'd been using to do my playthrough. So I'm going to have to rebuild my game. I have been promising to do a video series of installing Mod Organizer anyway, so this seems like the perfect excuse to do it. I will try and keep this as simple as possible, so please join me for An Idiot Mod Skyrim Part 1, Installing Mod Organizer. This may take some time. Now, Mod Organizer will work from wherever you install it, but I'm in the habit of installing it in the folder of the game that I'm going to be using it with, so now would be a good time to find out where your game is installed, if you don't already know. I find the easiest way to locate it is to open up Steam, go to the Library tab, click on Skyrim to highlight it, and then right click on it. On the new menu that opens, click Properties. On this new window, click Local Files tab, and it should say disk usage so many megabit on whatever drive it says here. So for me it's drive F. At this point I would like to suggest that if your game is on C, now might be a good time to move it to another drive if you have one. I try and keep my C drive as clear of clutter as possible, especially since I made the move to SSD. My games, photos, music are all on different drives or partitions. A video guide of how to move a Steam game is just up here. Just one more thing to do here, and that's to run the game launcher. It's just to make sure that the game's recognised. This will save a few headaches later on. So the first thing I'm going to do is download Mod Organizer from the Nexus site. I will, as always, put any links needed down below in the description. You do have to be a member to download files over 2 megabit from the Nexus site, so I'm just going to go sign in. If you're not already a member, just click up here to join. It only takes a couple of minutes. If you want to do it now, I'll wait. Go on, off you pop. Once on the Mod Organizer page, I'm going to suggest you read this description. Don't worry if it goes over your head right now. Once we've installed it and had a play with it, you can always come back here and some of it may make a bit more sense. I'll also point out now that unlike the Nexus Mod Manager that can handle several games from one installation, Mod Organizer needs one installation per game. So if you're going to use it for Modern Oblivion, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas and Skyrim, you will need to install a copy of Mod Organizer per game. So now we want to click the Files tab to open up the downloads themselves. The top two here are the latest versions of Mod Organizer, version 1.3.11 at the time of making this video. Please note the author is saying that this version is for Windows 7 to 10. It may work for Vista, but no promises. Please use 1.2.18 on Windows XP. Now, personally, I am on Windows 7, but we're going to use 1.2.18 for the time being. We can update later if we wish. It's a very simple process. To find it, we need to scroll down to the version we want. We're going with version 1.2.18, the installer version. You just want to click on download manually and it should start. It'll only take a few seconds depending on your connection, and this is less than 20 megs in size. But I will put a large file warning on some of the larger mods for those of you with a download limit. Once it's downloaded, click show in folder. I'll just close this window down behind. As it's already highlighted, just right click on it and then left click run as administrator, and we'll get this user account control warning. Left click on yes and the wizard starts up. Let's just have a quick check here. We already did the run as admin bit. I've mentioned the one install per game. Install over an existing installation to update or repair and we won't lose data. That's helpful. And now click on next. At the license agreement, as always, read this fully and then click I agree anyway. And now to choose the components that we want. Let's leave everything checked, and we'll also check these bottom ones as well. The handle Nexus links is so that when we click download with manager button on the Nexus, mods will download to Mod Organizer. Don't worry if you do use both the Nexus Mod Manager and Mod Organizer. We can set up a workaround so that mods go where they're supposed to. The start menu shortcut does exactly what it says on the tin and puts a shortcut to start Mod Organizer in the start menu. And then we click next. Now we get to decide where we install Mod Organizer. First, I'm going to do an installation onto the program files on C drive. Just click install. It will only take a few seconds. When it's finished, just leave Run Mod Organizer checked and click Finish. This window opens up and it will detect any of the games that we have installed. Just pick the game you want this copy of Mod Organizer to handle and click on it. So in this case, it's Skyrim. Now, if you guys that have installed it on the C drive can just wait here, I'll go and do the game installation and we'll carry on from there. So we're back at where to install MO. This time we'll click Browse. I'll just widen this window a minute and let's just click on this arrow to close up the C drive. Locate the drive with your game on, so for me it's SSD Games F. Click on the arrow next to it. Steam Library and Steam Apps are already open. Just click on the arrow next to Common, down to Skyrim and click to highlight it, and then you want to click OK. The destination folder should now read whatever your game is on, so for me it's F, Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Skyrim, Mod Organizer. If yours is the same, just click Install. When it's done, click Finish and we're all reunited at the message of the day. This has got information on how to report bugs. This info is also on the Nexus page that we were just on. Please check the forums and the notes there for more information. For now, we'll just click OK. And now we're at the You're running Mod Organizer for the first time message. Do you want to run the tutorial? As we can run the tutorial from inside Mod Organizer, for now we'll click No. Then we can start from there and you know how to do it. And we'll do that next. Right, so welcome to Mod Organizer. Let's just make this full screen. Now, first things first, the tutorial. To run it, we click this question mark, then hover over Tutorials, across to First Steps and click. This new window opens. You're about to start a tutorial. For technical reasons, it is not possible to end the tutorial early. Continue. We're going to click Yes. I will read along here and I will try and put some information in that I know as we go along, so don't worry if the text you're seeing isn't what I'm reading. Welcome to the Mod Organizer tutorial. This will guide you through the most common features of Mod Organizer. Please go along with the tutorial because some things can't be demonstrated if you skip something. To continue, you just click the box. Before we continue with the step-by-step tutorial, I'd like to tell you about the other ways you can receive help on Mod Organizer. The highlighted button provides hints on solving problems Mod Organizer recognises automatically. This triangle will be red should it detect any errors, plus an indication of how many errors it's found. This button provides multiple sources of information and further tutorials. It's the question mark we just used. Finally, there are tooltips on almost every part of Mod Organizer. If there is a control in Mod Organizer that you don't understand, please try hovering over it to get a short description, or use Help on UI from the Help menu to get a longer explanation. This list displays all mods installed through Mod Organizer. Yeah, it's the one to the left, guys. It also displays installed DLC and some mods installed outside of Mod Organizer, but you have limited control over those in Mod Organizer itself. Yeah, these are just the high-res texture packs and the DLC. Before we start installing mods, let's have a quick look at the settings. Yeah, so we're going to go up to this X made of a spanner and a screwdriver. Click on it. You can use your regular browser to download from Nexus. Please open the Nexus tab, so it's this next one along. Click this button so that Download with Manager buttons are downloaded with Mod Organizer. We can skip this step because we did that on our installation. You can also store your Nexus credentials here for automatic login. The password is stored unencrypted on your disk. Yep, so what we do is we click on the automatically log into Nexus, check it, fill in your username and your password. Once you've filled it in, you can click OK, but I want to change another setting first. The tutorial will continue when I click OK. I'm going to go to the General tab. And I have a small confession to make. Even though that my game and copy of Mod Organizer were deleted, the mod downloads are safe as they were stored on a different hard drive. Something I want to do again rather than using up space on my SSD. I'm going to check Advanced and change where the download directory is stored. I'm leaving the mod directory and the cache directory as they are. I would recommend that you do the same. Before I make this change, I'm going to prepare a folder for the job. I'm going to click Start, then Computer. As you can see, I have a drive called Mods. Double click that. Mod downloads, double click again. As you can see, I have mods for several of my games. This is my old Skyrim mods folder. It's a little over 7 gigabits in size, and for now I'm going to rename it. So click to highlight it, then right click, scroll down to rename and left click, and I'm just going to put the word old on the end so I know which one it is, and then press enter. Now I'll just right click on an empty part of this window, hover over new, then across to folder and click, and I'll name this folder Skyrim Mods again. This will now be where any of the mods I download will come once I've changed it in Mod Organizer. I can also move some of the mods from my old folder to the new one, and I'll explain why I may need to do that in a future episode. Once I'm done, I'll just close this window. Back in Mod Organizer, click on this box at the end of the download directory, and in this new window, click on the drive we just created our folder on, so G, double click Mod Downloads again, down to the Skyrim Mods folder I've just created, click to highlight, and then click select folder. We're back in Mod Organizer again, download directory, looks right, we can click OK and get back on with the tutorial. Now it's time to install a few mods. Please go along with this because we need a few mods installed to demonstrate other features. There are a few ways to get mods into Mod Organizer. If you associated Mod Organizer with NXM links in the settings, you can now use your regular browser to send downloads from Nexus to Mod Organizer. Click on Nexus to open Nexus. Find a mod and click on the green download button saying download with manager. So yeah, just this globe up here. I have a few mods open in tabs here. One I recommend, another I spotted a while ago and want to check it out, and one that is essential for my playthrough character. Once again, links will be down below. The first one, and the one I won't be without in my game, is a quality world map and Solstheim map with roads by Ice Penguin. As you'd expect, this is a replacer for the in-game map. Once again, have a quick look to see if there's any special instructions for installation. Looks okay, so we'll go to the Files tab, and we want to download the main file. Just click Download with Manager and it'll start downloading. What? Have I done something wrong? Back in a second, guys. Right, now I'll click Download with Manager again. Ah, that's better. It looks like I'd misspelled my password. Oops. While we're still here, the next mod is one I want to check for my playthrough. It's called Blowing in the Wind by Seliva. Hope that's right. It should make the signs for inns and stores react to the wind in game. A quick scan through the text here. No special instructions, just a couple of compatibility warnings that it uses meshes from the Static Mesh Improvement mod, or SMIM for short. That is just another one of those mods that you really should have if your system can handle it. So we'll go into Files. Again, Download with Manager. The third and final mod I need for now is one I need for Magrio. It's his eye patch. It's found on the Charlecran's compatibility patches. This listing isn't really for a single mod, it's rather a collection of mods that don't have homes anymore. As such, a lot of details on this front page don't actually relate to the mod that we're going to use. And as I've used this before, we can go straight into the files. They're all listed as optional files on this one. The second one down is the one we want. Bandits eye patch compatibility patches version 4. We'll click Download with Manager and then we'll get back to tutorial. You can also install mods from disk using the Install Mod button. It's just up here in the top left hand corner, guys. I'll go into detail on this one next time. For now, let's just carry on. Downloads will appear on the download tabs here. You have to download and install at least one mod to proceed. So let's do that. Just click download and here are the mods. As both a quality world map and Blowing in the Wind have installers, we'll start with the Bandits eye patch. You just double click on it and this quick install window pops up. The mod's name is here. You can change it and there are a few suggestions. If you just click this arrow, you can change it to any of these that are here. I'm happy with the original, so I'm going to click that again. Now we're happy with the name. If we click manual to complete the installation, and we get this window saying this mod has been packaged in a way that Mod Organizer did not automatically recognise. You'll see but it says looks good here. That means it is good. This is just the intro text. Basically we're still running the tutorial. You can use drag and drop on this list to fix the structure of the mod. The correct structure replicates the data directory of the game. That means ESPs, the meshes, or textures, directories and so on should be directly below data. As you can see, they are. You can also disable files and directories that you don't want to unpack. Well, we need everything that's there. From the context menu, right click, you can open text files in case you want to access a readme. There isn't a readme with this one, so we're alright. This text will turn green if Mod Organizer thinks the structure looks good, as we already know it did. Click OK, the mod is installed, and I have to look through my mods to see if I can find some that are badly packed so I can teach you how to do it next time. Great, you just installed your first mod. Please note that the installation procedure may differ based on how the mod was packaged. Now you know all about downloading and installing mods, but they are not installed yet. Install a few more mods if you want, then enable the mods by checking them in the left panel. Mods that aren't enabled have no effect on your game whatsoever. We'll install these two in a minute. Let's just enable this one for now. Click the checkbox, and now we get, for some mods, enabling them in the left panel is all you have to do, but most contain plugins. These are the plugins for the games that are required to add stuff to the game, new weapons, armors, quests, areas. Please open the plugins tab and see a list of the plugins. So we're going to click this tab. You will notice that some plugins are greyed out. These are part of the main game and can't be disabled. Yeah, so it means the Skyrim ESM and the update ESM. A single mod may contain 0, 1 or multiple ESPs. Some or all may be optional. If in doubt, please consult the documentation of the individual mod. To do so, right click on the mod and select information. So let's do that. Let's go over here, right click on it, go down to information. This dialog tries to expose as much information about the mod as possible. Depending on the mod, this may include readmes, screenshots, optional plugins and so on. If a certain type of information was not found in the mod, the corresponding tab is greyed out. If you've installed the mod from the Nexus, the corresponding tab should give you direct access to the mod page. We may revisit this screen in the later tutorials. Actually, let's have a quick look now. We'll go to the Optionals ESP tab. This might not be the best example, but having a quick play now can't hurt. Right, so this mod has one ESP. As you can see, it's in the available ESP box. If we highlight it, we can move it up to the Optionals ESP box by clicking this up arrow like this. If we left it here, the eye patch will not appear in game, even though we've enabled it. But as we want this in the game, we'll do the same procedure and return it. So highlight it and click the down arrow. Anything you do here will affect any and all profiles you may have. We'll be coming back to this at some point in future videos. On the conflicts tab, as you can see, there are no conflicts, as the eye patch is not normally found in Skyrim. In the category tab, it's recognised as a patch. It's pretty apt, but it should be clothing really, shouldn't it? Not to worry, it's fine. Yeah, the Nexus tab has a mod ID number and a representation of the page. You can also open on Nexus from here. And as there are no notes, we'll go straight on to the file tree. There is a BSA file. This is the one that contains the details of the eye patch, the textures, the framework or mesh, and the location on the character model, and it's in a compressed form or archive. Then there's the ESP. This is what actively plugs it into the game and makes it work. And then there's the meta-ini, which has the mod category, version and the ID number. We'll click close now and carry on. Another special type of files are BSAs. These are bundles of game resources. Please open the archives tab. So click up here to open the archives. These archives can be a real headache because the way BSAs interact with non-bundled resources is complicated. The game can even crash if required archives are not loaded or ordered incorrectly. Mod Organizer applies some magic to make all BSAs that are checked in this list load in the correct order, interleaved with the non-bundled resources. You can disable this magic to make Mod Organizer behave more like other tools. In this case, their load order follows that of the corresponding plugins or ESPs. Many BSAs will appear greyed out and enabled. These mods are loaded by the game engine automatically, so they can't be disabled here. We will have to discuss this at a later date. This is too big to try and explain right now. I'll just say that I have yet to uncheck this box and I like the magic to happen. Now you know how to download, install and enable mods, it's important that you always start the game from within inside Mod Organizer. Otherwise the mod you installed here won't work. This combo box lets you choose what to start. This way you can start the game launcher, script extender, the creation kit or other tools. If you miss a tool, you can also configure this list, but that is an advanced topic. This completes the basic tutorial. As homework, go play a bit. After you've installed a few more mods, you may want to read the tutorial on conflict resolution. Right, so we're going to take that advice and we're going to install these other mods, starting with a quality world map. If you double click it, this time we have an external installer, as we have options on what we want to install. Let's click preview and take a look at what does what. This is the normal vanilla in-game map. If you click quality map all roads, you'll see it's slightly better quality and it's got all the roads. Click the quality map and it's just the main roads. I will skip Solstheim for people who haven't been yet. So clear map disabled and our view is obscured by cloud, enabled and the clouds are cleared. Click back and decide how you want your map to look. I'm going with a quality map with all roads, so I'll check that. I want the Solstheim map, so I'll leave that checked. And I want the clear map add-on, so I'll leave that one and then click install. And then we'll enable it. As you'll notice, we've got an icon under flags. Hover on it and it says overwritten files. We can double click it and it'll open the information window. Let's click the conflicts tab and see what's showing. We're overwriting the Solstheim world from the High-Res Texture Pack 2 and the Dragonborn DLC. As you would expect, seeing as it's writing the map over, we can click close and install the last mod, Blowing in the Wind. Double click and here's another installer. Let's check our options. Vanilla signs, the default setting. The description says that the standard signs for vanilla game. Note, don't use this if you have Brumbeck's Static Mesh Improvement mod installed. The other option, SMIN signs. I'm just going to click it. Use the improved signs from SMIM. Note that if you have SMIM installed, let Blowing in the Wind overwrite SMIM files when prompted. We will not get that prompt because Mod Organizer uses a different way of handling how mods overwrite each other. SMIM is not required to install this option. We'll leave the SMIM signs checked then. They're just nicer than the vanilla ones. Sign mass, we'll just leave it as default because we can always come back and fine tune it later. Optional. Well, I didn't have Shawstone, Expanded Towns and Cities or Signs of Skyrim in my load order last time, so we don't need these for now. Just click next and then check the box next to enable it. We'll have to have a look at the file tree of these mods another time, as time's getting on and we still have a few things to do before we can start playing. The first thing is this warning that's been sat here since I had my download problem. Click it and the problems window states there's a potential mod order problem. If you click on those words, you get this explanation that the conflict resolution order for some mods containing scripts differs from that of the corresponding ESPs. This may lead to subtle, hard to locate bugs and you should reorder the affected mods on the left list. There is no way to reliably know if each of these changes is absolutely necessary, but it's definitely safer. If someone suggests that you ignore this message, please give them a proper slapping from me. Do not ignore this warning. The following changes should prevent these kind of errors. Move unmanaged Hearthfires after unmanaged Dragonborn. We could close this window and move the mod manually, or we could just use this fix up here. Click it. This beta feature will rearrange your mods to eliminate all possible ordering conflicts. Proceed. Let's click yes and close this, and the Hearthfires has indeed moved after Dragonborn. If we do want to move a mod, it is easy. We'll move a quality world map up a spot, I think. Just click and hold the mouse button and drag it up to between unmanaged Dawnguard and Shallikans, like so. We should be okay with this load order at this time. However, as we add more mods, we need to take this a lot more seriously to prevent some problems. There are tools to help, but that's for a future episode. For now, let's just have a quick look at the plugins for the mods that we've installed. As you can see, there's a plugin for both the Bandit's Eye Patch and for Blowing in the Wind, but there isn't one for the Quality World map. Because neither the Bandit's Eye Patch or signs that are affected by wind are parts of the normal vanilla game, they need to be plugged in to make them work. The map does exist in game. We're just replacing it with a better version, and because it's lower in the load order, it should overwrite the vanilla one. As I said, load order is something to look at later. Now we really need to look at how we run our game, and it's all done through the combo box here. If you click it, this menu drops down, letting you pick what you want to run. As you can see, the only options at the moment are for Skyrim, the Skyrim launcher and edit. We will be adding several things to this in future, but for now we're going to click Edit, and this will open the Modify Executables menu. If you click Skyrim, you'll see all the details it needs to run the game, and there's also a checkbox down here with Close MO when started. As I'm going to be popping in and out of my game while I'm testing, I would prefer it not to close Mod Organizer every time I run the game. So I'm going to uncheck this box and click Modify. I'm also going to do the same for the launcher. So click it, uncheck the box, click Modify. I would highly recommend that you do the launcher, if not both. Otherwise, in a couple of minutes, you're going to have to restart Mod Organizer because we're going to use the launcher to make sure our options are correct. Once you've made your selections, click Close. Right. Now we're going to go back to the combo box, click it, and then down to Skyrim Launcher. We now have Skyrim Launcher in the combo box. Whatever is here will activate when we click this Run button. Click it, and the launcher window pops up. We're going to go across to Options just to make sure that it's got our screen set and everything right. I'm going to use Auto Detect by clicking Default, then OK. It's set for Ultra, which is nice. Click OK again. Double check that the resolution is correct first, and if you're happy, click OK and then exit the launcher. That should be the last time we really need to do that unless we want to change our settings again. From now on, we're just going to run the game directly from the intro screen. If we go back up to the combo box, click it, and select Skyrim this time. So now we find out if things have worked by clicking Run. I'm going to load up my original character and my future testbed, as he's from before I started modding the game. This is Edward. He's a level 50 character. Let's see if he can pull off the patch look. I'll have to console command this one. Let's give him the right eye one. Yep, that looks like that working. I don't think it's really him though. Let's have a look at this new map. Yeah, that looks to be working. All the roads are there. It's a little misty, but there are no clouds obscuring our view. Now let's see if we can detect any movement in our signs. I did have a quick test of this earlier, and Everstead had the most movement, so we'll go there. Is that sign moving? Yeah, that looks like that's moving. Typically it's stopped now we've gotten close. Though if you look, that tree's not moving much either. I guess the wind's died down a little bit. It's still twitching. We'll have to install some weather mods and see if we can get them swinging a bit more. Right, well I think I've taken up enough of your time. I'll make a start on part 2. Edward, man, you really need to lose that patch. It looks way better on the cat. If this has helped, give me a like, write a comment down below, or maybe even subscribe. A big thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys soon.